Hey everyone. So this is week 6, module 6, and hopefully you have finished the 12 books assignment. I mean, the 5 books assignment. This was where you had to find 3 books and give me information. I tell you in the assignment what information to give, and I tried to give you examples of what it needs to look like. And then I had you give me 2 of the references for a reference for the first 2 books. So you gave me a reference for book 1 and a reference for book 2. If you have already done it and you were not specific in your references, you're going to want to redo that before the due date tonight at 11:59 if you're watching this on Monday. I am very particular about it, and that's because I will give you feedback. I will tell you what needs to be fixed. But whether the catalog has the information or not, you are responsible for the information. So you have to go and find it if you can't find it in the catalog and you don't have physical access to the book. You have to find the information. You can't just leave it off because it's not easily available in the catalog. So be sure to be willing to look at Amazon, look at Google Books, look at other resources that tell you about the book and have the book information that you can use for your citations, okay? For this week, we have the next assignment is about articles. So we just finished looking at specifically books, and I didn't want us to do government documents or chapters of a book or pamphlets or dissertations. I wanted it to specifically books. Well, for articles, I want it to be specifically an article from the databases, and I am looking at EBSCOhost databases, okay? And I want to show you how to find those in this video, because sometimes students use the wrong tab to do a search, and then they don't find all of the information that could be useful for them. So I'm going to show you how to do that on the computer here, and hopefully you'll be able to see it with my phone and everything, with this videoing that we're doing. And I want you to understand there's a difference between a journal article and a magazine article and a newspaper article. All of these are what we call periodicals. They are all something that is published over a period of time, and it's a specific amount of time. A newspaper is often published, there's usually a newspaper every day, and then there's a special one on Sundays. Some of them are only published on Sundays, once a week. Magazines are often, there's one published one a week, maybe one a month. It just depends on the magazine. Journals are often published one a week, 2 times a week, bi-weekly, 2 times a month, bi-monthly, 1 time a month, monthly. Maybe they are quarterly, where they're published 4 times a year, 1 for each quarter. Maybe it's biannually, twice a year, annually, once a year. So it's just that it's published at specific intervals, okay? And the other thing that's important is scholarly peer-reviewed journals. Something that's scholarly peer-reviewed means that it is a journal that has experts in the field looking at the subject material for that journal, things that people have sent in to be published, and they look at it and they say, did this author cover all of their bases for publishing the information? Did they follow the procedures correctly that is expected in that field? If it was psychology, did they follow all the procedures that psychology expects when you're doing research? If it was aviation, did they cover all the bases that are involved in aviation? And the experts are the ones who have an understanding of what's expected. So they're able to read an article that is submitted to be published, and they're able to say, oh, this person did not include this information. They did not include statistics. They did not include the survey that they used. Maybe they did not include a large enough pool to choose from to see if the information is accurate. Or they might say, oh, they made sure to have this and this and this and this, so we can publish their paper. They did everything they were supposed to do for our field. So when you have published articles that are scholarly, peer-reviewed articles, you know that they're going to be of a higher quality because they have experts that have looked at them and said they're good to go. Other journals that are not scholarly peer-reviewed means usually the editor of the journal is the one who looks at the articles and decides if they are to be published. One thing that's difficult with that is that an editor is only one person and may not be an expert in the field. They may be an expert at editing and checking information to make sure that they crossed all their T's and dotted all their I's and used correct punctuation, but they may not be an expert in the field to know what all was correctly included in the article and what was not, okay? So although those articles, journal articles, are still acceptable, they're not as stringent, they're not as high quality in the scholarly world, in the teacher's eyes, as peer-reviewed journals. So when you're looking for journals, I do suggest looking for peer-reviewed, okay? Now, some of you have very specific topics, very specific research questions, okay? The topic actually usually isn't that specific, but your research question that you pulled from that is usually very specific. And so you may actually find that you can't do a peer-reviewed journal because there just isn't enough information out there to pull from. And in that case, I understand, and you use what you can find. I do not want magazine articles. I do not want newspaper articles, okay? I want specifically journal articles. And I do not want chapters of books. So hopefully, I don't want dissertations. So hopefully I can show you how to weed those things out so that your results in the databases are what you're supposed to have, okay? So let me get this, and I might have to stop it and we'll have a second video to show you how to do it, okay?